Hello and welcome to another episode of Superpowers, where you can experience the extraordinary. And today I'm very excited because I've got co-host Sheila Gale with me, and Sheila is the host of her own radio show called The Sheila Show, which you can find at sheilashow.com. And Sheila has brought an amazing healer with her today. His name is Jimmy Mack. And Jimmy and Sheila are here with us right now, so we're going to jump in, and I'm just going to say hello to Sheila. So, hello, Sheila.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Wonderful. So good to connect with you like this.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being here and being co-host today. This is pretty special for me to have such a pro be a co-host. Wow.
Gee, thanks.
So, Sheila, you've invited Jimmy Mack to join us today, and yeah, I would love for you to introduce Jimmy.
Absolutely. Jimmy Mack is a medical intuitive. He's a spiritual life coach. He's practiced lots and lots of modalities over the years. He's became a Reiki master. He studied psychic development, remote viewing, ascension with the monks, theta healing, access consciousness, reconnective, 1, 2, and 3, the Ewan method, and many, many more. But it was actually after a near-death experience that changed his life forever. He is now gifted with this increased ability to read people's energies, to read their energy fields and access realms and frequencies that can actually help them. And what he did is he's melded these experiences in what he calls the best of the best and developed a technology method for creating profound change called My Liquid Fish, which he teaches. And he's going to tell us about it. It's experience energetic shifts. People love him, and I'm so glad to bring him back so you can actually see him and experience him. So welcome, Jimmy Mack.
Thank you. Welcome, both of you, too. It's great to even talk to you and to meet Carl as well. And I appreciate you having me on, Sheila.
So,
absolutely. So,
hey, Jimmy, real quick, just for our Superpowers audience here and people who who are going to be meeting you for the first time and may not be familiar with you, as I was reading a little about you, it looks like you were well into these sorts of alternative healing modalities prior to your near-death experience. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, working on those for decades, definitely. But then that really changed it for me.
Right.
I had my gallbladder taken. Me too much anesthesia about killed me. So I was in ICU for 3 days and had some very profound experiences. So
right.
None of which I welcomed or wanted, but that's just how it played out. So.
Right. Just real quick, because I have as a large part of my audience a group that's called the International Association of Near-Death Studies. And it was founded by Dr. Raymond Moody. You may be familiar with him. Back in 1975, he wrote Life After Life. So what I have is a large group of people who just enjoy some details of the near-death experience. Would you mind telling us just a little bit about that? And
absolutely.
And I know that everybody kind of gets, because we're familiar with people who, you know, emerge from a near-death experience with superpowers, but they just enjoy the part of what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I would say of that, my brother was gorgeous. He looked like Tom Cruise, only taller, and he died in our home here in '93, and we were really close. And so, you know, I thought, well, maybe I'll see him, I'll see angels, I'll see whatever. But my pieces and what I experienced wasn't bright white light. It wasn't loved ones on the other side. So for the longest time, I thought I was a little nutty. It was more like deep inner space. It's what I call pictures from the Hubble telescope, deep inner space. The covers of my books both have pictures from that. And that's more what I was going up into and blended into. I don't even recall the name of the DVD, but it was probably 6 months later. I thought I was nuts, but there was actually a DVD out where, you know, everybody on the entire hour-and-a-half movie had the same experiences as me. Right. So it was really mystical, magical, cool. It's not anything you wanted to come back from. I've never experienced more vivid colors or sights or sounds than just a feeling of elation and being lifted up into that. It's not anything you want to really come back here after experience.
Right.
So the more I can contribute and change, then that's what I'm going to do all the way to the door.
Yeah.
So, and I would say to all of that, my experience over writing, and I'm working on my near-death experience book right now, would be that, there was even that movie that came out, Heaven's for Real, with the young boy. Maybe his experience was more about relatives and seeing grandpa for the first time or whatever, and never knowing these people. And, maybe he was so immersed in church and whatnot, who can know that that was his experience, whereas some people might see white light, have a life review, all those things. But that was definitely not my experience. It was very magical, profound, deep inner space, kaleidoscopish. It was more along those lines.
Right.
So.
Wow.
Right. It does sound a little bit like what it was an energetic and frequency recalibration for you, and you were getting a chance to experience what all of those energies were. That's what you were bringing in. Seems like, and this is pure speculation on my part.
No, it rings true when you say it. Definitely, since then I've had really, odd instances where whatever I'll touch somebody's satellite radio, look at it or move my hand around, it changes stations. So it is definitely, very profound, different, mystical, weird, dare I say weird. So,
right.
It's not like anything else I ever experienced. And I would add to that, I remember going into pre-op, and I remember getting propofol, like what happened to Michael Jackson, but when they put you under, and that was just pitch black. That was like being in a black box with black. You don't remember any of it. It was completely different from all that. So.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So let's jump now to then how that changed you, and what did you call it, Sheila? Liquid fish?
Right, right. Well, basically it went back to, I would say, as far as the Christian fish symbol, some people would consider it also the creativity or the creation of all mankind. It's been used even as a symbol for women. It just happened to be what I was shown over time, and really developed over time. And I experienced that in ICU, but then later, years later, it was really coming through strong. And so it pretty much melded everything that I've been doing into a more simplified format so that even a teenager could figure this out in a hurry, and without spending six figures or decades at the feet of the monks and that sort of thing. So, yeah. So it's a very...
Yeah. I'd like to say something here.
Yeah.
What's great about Jimmy Mack and this modality or technology or whatever you want to call it that he's developed, there's so many people popping on the planet that have different kind of healing modalities, which are great.
Right.
Jimmy is actually teaching people to do it themselves because, let's face it, we're all self-healers. We know that, we just haven't known how to access that. So there's people like Jimmy that are popping up that are actually showing us. So, it's part of the great human evolution. And I think we're going to have a little experience of that sometime during this show, too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We would love to do that. Well, and I think, too, see, it's funny because I call this show Superpowers because that really ultimately, that's the perception of people who haven't yet tapped into what are their innate abilities. And so when they see somebody like yourself or somebody like Mas Sajadi or, people who have these gifts that, that they're now expressing through them, they look at it like it's a superpower as opposed to recognizing that it's, a latent ability within them. And so I'm totally with you on, teaching a man to fish here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and so is that something you do in classes, in like, or a seminar kind of situation? How does that work, Jimmy?
Right now, it's basically, I have a pretty large clientele base. I'll have people in person, phone, Skype all over the world. I'll usually have at least a session with them to get them up to speed to where we could at least discuss that. And then go ahead. Generally, it's the last chapter of my first book. And so they kind of need to read that, have a little background, at least have a clue, because like you mentioned, if it's somebody who's never experienced this before, you know, I don't want to be lost in translation. And in fact, the people who experience the most profound changes, funnily enough, would be people who've done a lot of modalities and things. And then they have that aha moment where this is so simplistic. They go, oh my God, I can't even believe it's so simplistic.
Right.
And I would add to that, as far as the superpowers go, I used to not be into the Marvel stuff or Star Wars all that much or any of that, you know, but after what I've been through, I love all that now. And, I get it. And you know, listen, if you can have an hour and a half without your cell phone going off and be interplanetary, even if it's, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, it's just delicious fun, right?
Yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah.
I guess I must have had a near-death experience then too, because I love that stuff too.
Yeah, yeah. And I love the superpowers part. I mean, you know, we might call them that, and certainly the people that are unknowing would call them that.
Right.
But I feel like after you do it over time, then it becomes, I won't say routine, but certainly a part of you. And as you so you know, poignantly had pointed out, it's a latent power within all of us. And so to bring that out again, or at least the memory of it, of past lives and past experiences. You know, when we were little kids, I mean, we played with, we couldn't jump on the trampoline, or we couldn't achieve this or whatever, and so we did it. Right. And then over time we were told no so much that it kind of boxed us in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think that's probably where many people are right now, which is where this perception of superpowers comes from, which is that the possibility that it may even exist within them isn't there. And so, you know, one of the first steps, I think, and what I like trying to do, is just sort of crack open those doors of possibility for people and say, guess what, you know, you could really do this. I mean, I think this is kind of even the appeal of something like Harry Potter and that whole storyline, where here he is, he's a wizard, but he doesn't know it, right? And we're kind of like that. We're wizards, and we don't realize that we have these abilities, and we need to know that. And,
you know, Carl, I think that people do know. They do know in some place. They do know.
Right. Yeah.
We're all, I mean, it maybe subconsciously, or they may get a glimpse of it.
Right.
But those that are sticking around, we're gonna find it.
Well, and again, you know, Sheila, you're right, and it's that's probably where the appeal, and why something like a Harry Potter story is so compelling for people, because they do have that inner knowing and they're drawn to it. They maybe aren't connecting all the dots, but there's something there that's telling them, you know, I recognize this.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So what do you say, Jimmy? Shall we?
Well, we'll do something in a minute, but I'd add to that, and I love his analogy on the Harry Potter piece, and this really does somewhat give you that magical wand to change things. You know, I got a lot of really intuitive friends, and, you know, kind of, you know, our joke is the two psychics meet in the middle of the road, and the one says to the other, "You're fine, how am I?" And, you know, a lot of times their lives could be a mess, and, you know, everybody's been through this, that, or the other thing, you know, but, you know, me telling Carl, hey, I see you getting a new car at Christmas, you know, that isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. I'd rather you change the energy so I can get the money so I can buy any color car I want. Yeah. And so I think the real power is in the ability to change these things energetically long term. So if something's really blocking you or holding you back, you know, someone you don't know telling you that all that's true may be great confirmation, but then so what? What are you going to do about it? You know, what's for lunch?
Right.
So, you know, we definitely want to move things and change things, and, you know, I can work on Sheila or you or whatever y'all would like to do as far as showing you that. And I would add to that, I have clients, like I said, all over the world, Skype or phone, and they could be in the middle of Cleveland in their basement, and I've never met them before, and they could be using a pendulum, and they'll get yes or no answers, and I don't see their pendulum. I'm not even seeing them if I'm on the phone. And they can actually, if something is negative and it tests as yes, I can change it for them, and they can watch the pendulum go to no. So when you start doing that and moving things around, or, you know, if you're standing up and we apply kinesiology through that, or sway testing, that's when it becomes very real to people, when they can actually feel the sensation of things leaving their body or things coming in.
Right, right. Oh, that's amazing. That has to be one of the things that I know people love in this process is that ability to validate the experience. And you know, people like myself, I don't necessarily feel a lot of things. Like I'll be in a room and everybody's going, "God, do you feel the energy? Do you feel the energy?" And I'm kind of going, "Well, no, tell me about it."
Right.
You know, so that sort of validation would be very cool for somebody like me. You know,
I'm the same way, Carl.
Yeah.
All my friends feel, they're like, "Oh, I got chills. Oh, did you see that? Did you feel that?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
No, Jimmy's work is amazing. I'm happy to, you know. Are you standing up right now, Carl?
I'm not. I'm sitting on a tall stool.
But no, his work is great, and
I can stand up.
Very effective.
Here, let's see what happens here. There.
Yeah. How hydrated are you, Carl? Have you had something to drink?
Yeah, I had some water this morning. Hey, Alex, do you need to readjust the camera for me?
That'd be great. If you want to just, can you figure out which way is due north, Carl? That'd be good for you.
Due north. Give me a second. I think it's going to be about like this.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. So if you're strong mountain pose in yoga, you want to have your feet about hip width apart.
Okay. I got to move this.
All right.
There we go.
So things are going to feel like it's pulling you forward for yes and pushing you backwards for no. It's not always yes or no. It could just be an affirmative yes or a, you know, negative no, or something isn't there. But if you say, "My name is Carl," you should feel a pull forward.
My name is Carl. Oh, yeah. Wow. I do feel like...
I know, right? You didn't see nothing yet,
Now
Carl.
he's a believer. Yay!
Yeah.
All right. So, but if you say, "My name is Nemo the fish," it's going to pull you backwards.
My name is Nemo the fish. Okay. Yep. Doesn't like that very much.
Right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you can feel that, Carl, because if you can't feel that, we got bigger problems, okay?
No. That I can feel.
Okay, good. Yeah. Good. So here's some of the things I would do to clean up you and anybody else when we first start out. And the first one is, "I am clear." You can say that, and we'll see if you go forward, back, or in between. I am clear.
I am clear. I go forward.
That's really good. So we're going to leave that. And the next one is, "I am unclear."
I am unclear. Just right in the middle.
Yeah, so I'm going to release all that and resolve it. And all I'm doing is my liquid fish right now, and you're going to feel it pull backwards when it leaves you.
Yeah, okay, wow. I'm going backwards.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
This is really the coolest thing ever.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I do it every day. I had a beautiful girl here last week, Carl, and she got ready to leave the house, and she turned around and she said, "Jimmy, this is a magical place." I said, "I know. I live here."
Yeah, I've seen it. Oh, very cool.
The third one I would do for you, Carl, before we start changing things would be, we'll see if you go forward, back, or in between. I'm running forward.
Hang on, I lost your audio there again. What are we saying?
I am running forward.
I am running forward. I went forward.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. So what would you like to change or make different, Carl, in your life?
Well, you know what? I don't know if this is a real thing or not. It was just an observation from somebody. But apparently I am among those that have a belief system that I have to work really, really hard.
Yeah, that's all true. Yeah, they immediately are whispering in my ear about that. So you can go ahead and say that right now. I have to work really, really hard.
I have to work really, really hard. Yeah, I'm pulling forward.
All right. So all I'm going to do is my liquid fish and release it right now. It's going to pull you back when that leaves you.
Okay. Okay.
Feel the difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I do it all day. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so
I know,
fun.
right?
Yeah.
So imagine, if you will, Carl, and instead of "Go Team Carl," it would be you're radiating out, you know, I have to work really, really hard. So your bumper car that's thrown off that little spark on the ceiling, I have to work really, really hard. So that's all Carl knows to do.
Right.
So I would do things like make it, you know, safe, easy, fun, enjoyable. So let's make work safe, easy, fun, and enjoyable. You can say that, and we'll see if you go forward, back, or in between.
Okay. Work is safe, easy, fun, and enjoyable. I stay right in the middle.
Yeah, so I'm going to release whatever's blocking that from you and resolve it all out. It's going to pull you forward when it changes.
Okay. Okay.
We've never met before, right?
No, I've never met before. We've never met before. Yeah.
So Makes sense?
Yeah.
So we're kind of like what we're doing is we want to, originally we want to take you to the ethereal car wash. You've been to those car washes where you use the wand, and so we're really kind of cleaning you up, and then we're going to drop in some better stuff, and it's really spray painting your car, if you will, and putting those different pieces on there of Go Team Carl, because we want things to improve for you. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So I would also make work should be easy, joyful, and profitable for you. So you can say that work is easy, joyful, and profitable.
Work is easy, joyful, and profitable.
Kind of in the in-between.
Kind of in the in-between, yep.
Yeah, so we're going to release whatever's blocking that from you and resolve it. It's going to pull you forward when it comes in.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, there we go.
So, and
this
imagine.
is so fun, Sheila.
Yeah, it's wild. I know. It's fun. That's true.
Yeah.
So, what else pops in your head, Carl?
Well, you actually sort of tipped me off to a little something. I don't know if you saw it when you said the arthritis thing. I've got just a little bit of soreness in some finger joints,
There you go. So that's what they're kind of whispering in my ear. My girl always says, yeah, but you cheat. They tell you everything. So there you go. So I would make the statement, I have arthritis.
I have arthritis. Okay.
That's a big yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to release it, resolve it, and take it all out now. It's going to pull you back when it leaves.
Yeah, I started pulling back right away when we did that. Yeah.
You can say it again. I have arthritis.
I have arthritis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Test that as no now, right?
Yes.
So generally that's going to be a stiffness also in behaviors and thoughts. I've had clients from time to time where, I find out they go, I've really bad arthritis in my hands or whatever, and go, well, what are you doing every day? And they were like drinking grapefruit juice, which they were allergic to, right? So generally I find that arthritis also is a stiffness or an allergy to something. And generally it's something we're doing all the time.
Right.
So just changing safe and comfortable to be me and other things will give you more movement in that. And I would drop in also, I've learned all the lessons I needed to from this arthritis.
I've learned all the lessons I needed to from this arthritis. Oh.
And that's yes, which is great. So we'll leave it. Having arthritis still serves me.
Having arthritis still serves me.
And it's no now, and that's dreamy.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So how would you rate your stiffness right now?
Boy, totally neutral, none. I don't
Good
have,
place to be, right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Fast enough for you, Carl?
That's fast enough for me. Gosh, yeah.
Hey,
it's actually faster than I can think of things.
Hey, how about this? I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, Carl.
Yeah.
What are you doing after the show?
Ah, there you go.
It's working. Hey,
It's working.
by the way, ladies, Carl's a great cat. She's so precious. I'm glad you're ready for a relationship, Carl.
Yay. Bless your heart. Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, we'll turn this into Superpowers, the dating show.
Yes.
There you go.
Superpowers dating superpowers.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Sheila, are you going to do a little of this? That was so fun.
I know.
Wow.
Sure. I can,
Go for it, Sheila. Yeah, if you can stand up and figure out which ways due north. Hopefully you're hydrated.
There we go.
Awesome. And the more hydrated you are, the stronger your pulls can be, forward or back, Carl. And that's why I asked if she's hydrated.
Great.
It makes a difference in how people feel. Okay, Sheila, we're already due north. We're ready to rock it out.
Yes, but I don't have any issues.
Okay, you can sit back down.
Oops, I'm not laughing. That was something else, Sheila.
We'll just work on rain if you want.
Oh, wow.
See?
Oh, great.
We'll start with you and branch out to rain. How about that? What's going on with you? What can we change or make different?
Okay, so, let's see, how can I say this? Sort of anxiousness, anxiety, kind of fear of
Yeah, stop right there and make it simple. Go back to anxious.
Anxious.
I feel anxious. See if you go forward, back, or in between.
Okay, I feel anxious.
Yeah, it's a big yes, right? So we're going to release and resolve all that, disentangle and erase it, pull her straight back when you're done.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't fall down on us, Sheila.
I got a sofa here to hold me up.
Okay, good. Awesome.
I came prepared.
There you go. So I'd take it off in little bite-sized chunks, It's kind of the old joke of you can't eat an elephant all in one sitting. So you want to just have the little tiny pieces at a time. So what came after anxious? We know that's gone.
Fear of my own power, stepping into my power.
Start with straight up fear. I'm afraid. I have fear.
I'm afraid. I have fear.
Yeah, so that's bigger than just the power. So we're going to release all that. It's going to pull you back when it leaves.
Wow.
Okay. There you go. And so kind of like a little choo-choo train, there'd be a, infinite, my friend calls it 80 miles of bad road after that. So we'd add on, could be fear of flying, fear of spiders. You drop in fear of my own power. Now we're going to check in with that and see how that looks. I have fear of my own power.
I have fear of my own power.
And that's still there. So we're going to release and resolve all that.
Whoa.
There you go. Okay. And so if you said it again, it's going to pull you straight back. I have fear of my own power.
Fear of my own power. Yay!
Yay. So that's how we know something has changed. And it's beyond DNA level, past lives. It's core of this incarnation, history of all past lives, your soul level, little Sheila hooked up to God, all those different things, parallel universe, parallel dimension, other worlds. It's anything you could fill in the blank on. And, people often ask, well, did it change on that level? Yes, it did. And that's where you want to be. You want to be so quick, so fast that things start changing for you. Doesn't mean you won't have to check in with that, occasionally. And I tell people too, you're going to dirty our clothes, we're going to wash our clothes, we're going to get dirty and take a shower, we're going to eat, we're going to poop, we're going to whatever. And so you might need to check in on occasion on those different words. And each one of those different words is going to have a different resonance to it. And so we want to kind of, so we delete all those things out. And then once we do, you'd feel a whole lot better. Okay?
Right.
So I would drop in with something more positive too and just check in with it's safe and comfortable just to be me.
It's safe and comfortable just to be me.
And that's there. So we would leave it. Nothing to change there. But again, we'll go back to the fear piece. And what would you add to that beyond your own power?
What would I add to that beyond my own power? I don't understand the question.
In other words, what other things would you believe that you're afraid of or that comes up when you think of fear?
Okay. It's the same one that Carl had. Fear of intimacy with a man.
Well, I know that's not the same one Carl had, but okay.
Roughly that territory. There's a few things that are wrong about it.
There you go. All right. How about just straight up fear of intimacy? Let's start there.
Okay. I have fear of intimacy.
Yeah. So we're going to release and resolve all that. Surrender it out now. Forward, please. Pull her straight back when you're done.
Going forward again.
Yeah, it's just grabbing more and more and more, and then it's going to pull you straight back.
And I had a lot of fear of intimacy. Jesus.
Yeah, it's going to get less and less, and then it's going to pull you straight back. This is the biggest thing you've had today. Yeah.
We're rotor-rootering this one. Here we go.
There you go. Awesome.
Wow.
And so that could be fear of intimacy is something as simple as, hugging your daughter, your son, your puppy dog, your whatever. And, there are things often we don't even know. So then I would add to that fear of intimacy with a man.
Yeah. I have fear of intimacy with a man.
And generally, if you can't say it, you're messed up on it. And so you see how you stumble on the words. Yeah. Yeah, man. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I just changed it. It's going to pull you straight back. It's gone.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So that's going to help us. You even look better, Sheila. Jeez.
If only I were 20 years younger.
There you go. Awesome.
You're perfect just the way you are.
That's right, and so are you.
Right.
Great. Well, you know what? I just want to let our listeners and viewers know that you can experience Jimmy's magic, and you can go to just click on the website that's right there on your screen, and you can book a session with him. You can, check out his packages and learn how to do this yourself. Jimmy, is there anything you want to say about that real quick?
No, that's just the best deal going. What Sheila has out there to offer, there's no doubt. So contact me; it would be a lot higher piece. So that's a heck of a package that you have, honestly, and it's all encompassing. So it can only help others without question.
Yeah, and Jimmy's great. People love him. He works so well with people, and that's what it's all about. We're all a piece of the puzzle, and it's about providing processes and tools for people as we ascend, as we evolve, as this shift is definitely happening. So we need support. So that's just a great resource right there, Jimmy Mack.
That's great. And thank you, Sheila, and thank Carl, too, for even continuing to bring it all out to the world, because the more we can be in this forum and the more we can help and contribute to others, that it gets the word out there that much more and raises everybody up. And that's really what I'm on fire to do, is to keep it all stirred up and just help and contribute and go, go, go all the way to the door, especially now that I know what's there when I'm gone. So now I'm really, going to be definitely working as much as I can, or playing as it is. And, it's like, Carl, when you have that aha moment of, hey, something's changing, something's, really actually happening here. That's the really exciting time for me. It isn't so much the intuitive piece, and it isn't even so much the power of the change, but when people light up and they get it for the first time, that's rewarding, that's exciting, and that's something that nobody could ever take away from you. It's kind of like learning how to ride that bicycle for the first time, and
exactly.
You look around, you look behind your dad, and not only the training wheels off, he's 100 yards behind, and that's the really great moment we all want to have.
Yeah.
And so if we can play in that, magic can happen.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. And I know that Sheila and I are both in that same camp with you, that we are looking, we know that you raise one boat, you raise all boats a little bit, so the more we can uplift ourselves and people around us, the more it uplifts everybody, and that's the goal. So, yeah. And bless your heart. Thank you for all you're doing, Jimmy. And,
thank you.
Yes, Jimmy, thank you.
And thanks for being with us today. And Sheila, thank you so much for bringing Jimmy aboard, and for being such an awesome co-host. This was so fun.
Hey, can we mention my show that's on every
yes.
Every Tuesday right here, The Sheila Show, Tuesday at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific time, and 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, I got a great lineup of speakers each week. So Carl and Dave, we got together. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. All righty. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Sheila.
All right, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
All right.
Take care. You bet. You too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. And that is Jimmy Mack and Sheila Gale. And I have to tell you, that was a pretty amazing sensation to feel, getting pulled forward and backward, and very cool to get that confirmation that something's going on. So I would definitely recommend doing that. That was really fun. And also Sheila Gale, and make sure that you tune into the Sheila Show on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. And we will see you again on the next Superpowers. Thanks for joining us.